Hey there, Model Rail Radio fans. That's Webster. Tom wanted to see a long format entry into the contest for an official entry, so as of August 15th, this is the work that I had done on the layout. I'll give you a little overview of the whole thing. So what you've got is a 5-foot by 18-inch shelf. We're looking at the front side of it, the way it would be mounted. The wall side would be back here. There are 14 hand-laid turnouts. We'll get a view down the track here. So you've got 4 crossovers, 1, 2, 3, 4 industry spurs. Well, 5 actually, once I get the diamond built. And then lead off to a suggested industrial area. So, microengineering flex track for all the flex pieces, and little hand-built number 7s for most of them. So all the tracks laid and wired, gaps are cut, electrically it's good. That's a number 4.5, number 5, number 5, number 5. And we'll take a look at the underside here. Everything's wired temporarily because I didn't have the bullfrogs. So right now there's no turnout controls. It's just you have to pin them in place for temporary to run trains. And these are just tied to bus bars. I put in a Anderson power pole connector so I can hook it up to my existing Fremo style module, and I've run most of the frog feeders, but because I don't have the bullfrogs, they're not wired to anything. So all the holes have been drilled for the throw bar locations. Underside's painted so it's nice and bright to work on. I tried to plan, when I drew the track plan, I tried to cluster the turnouts in groups. And so that's why they're all kind of, you've got a group of them here, a couple of them here, a group of them here, and a group of them here, and relatively open at the ends where I suspected that you would have to locate your supports in here somewhere. And you can't do that if you got bullfrogs and stuff everywhere. So that's part of the idea of planning this thing, was to keep everything in close proximity to each other. The other thing was trying to plan operations so that it's interesting. And it's kind of, if you look at it, it's like almost like 2 interleaved inglenooks, where you have 3 tracks here and a spur or a lead, and 3 tracks here and a lead down here. The shortest lead is this one here, which I pretty much see as being a runaround for cars here, right? And this center track you'll probably end up using to simulate, as a fiddle yard to bring interchange cars in. Same with this track down here. You've got a pretty long lead to run to these 2 industries down there, and a decent length of track for sorting along here to feed these 2. The concept of this was that it was a area of a yard or a route that the city annexed a portion of it to put in a freeway. So a freeway overpass would come across right in this vicinity. So you'd have like a pylon here, maybe a hobo camp, and this area next to these tracks would be scenic to suggest that there had been tracks there, but that they'd been ripped out. Out here, this would be a newer industry, possibly remnants. You could see like old asphalt from a previous building, but now it's a LP gas plant or a junkyard or a scrap metal recycler, something to give you a lot of interest, you know, visual interest, and really draw people's attention in there and give you some nice operation. City block structure would be at a diagonal here, so this would be a road going up, and you'd have sidewalk and parking and stuff paralleling the track on either side, and a paved road with cars and figures and that sort of stuff heading up that way. And it would transition to, you know, typical railroad right-of-way around this zone, so it'd be gravel, weeds. The asphalt might come down and turn, but there's going to be a spur right here with a large building, like a centerpiece, that you could put a lot of detail. Kind of pictured this as open, but you could have a smallish set of structures here, maybe related to an industry on either side, or the remnants of a rundown city block down here, something like that. And then the thing that occurred to me this morning is, since I'm missing my diamond, you could actually scenic around that, meaning that this spur would have been an old industry, but they had to cut in this new turnout here and put in a crossing. So all of this would be newly ballasted, brand new ties. Some of the ballast around this area would be brand new. And this would be, you know, this is either inside the building or a loading dock next to it, something like that. Just an idea of this. I'll give you some details on the construction. I think this is 16th inch, just the little foam you get at the craft store, and I used the Woodland Scenics track bed stuff, and it's not bad. It's a little softer than I'd like. You can see that I can push down on the rails there, but I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's not bad to work with. If I were to do it again, I would probably just get more of this foam, because it's a lot stiffer, and I would just, like right here, I put in a piece to taper it down to the, so there's no roadbed under these, so they're slightly depressed. Same over here where it goes to the track running area, or the street running area, and it's pretty nice to work with. This Woodland Scenic stuff is kind of stretchy, hard to sand and make a nice taper on, where this other foam is pretty stiff and nice to use. And it does dampen the sound on your shelf quite a bit, so that turned out to be a pretty good decision. Talk to you for a minute about what kinds of rolling stock and locomotives that would be suited to the layout. The Bachmann 70-ton or 44-ton, or this is a Kato SW 1500 or NW2. They're about the right wheelbase length. My RS3, this is a GP 39M, but a GP8, GP9, GP7s are about the right length for this. Because of the type of couplers I put on this guy, he's a little bit long for that shortest. You can only get him in one car on this track out here. For rolling stock, I would say 40 and 50, 55 foot, probably not too many 60 foot cars. Well, let's put on the trusty Kato number 102. Let's move this along here, shall we? So, I actually had to get this fairly level in order to keep my boxcars from rolling down to the other end. They still want to roll. Let's see if think it does now. The only thing about this Kato, I think, is those are dummy couplers. Doggone it. Bachman, you're up. We'll go back the other way with him. We'll speed this up a little bit. So you can see that you still got room for one more car at the end of that track. Good? We'll know in a minute, won't we? If our box cart clears. Yeah. Ooh, that was a tight fit past that switchman. So we're going all the way down to the end there. Oh. Going on. Back up through there. So if I wanted to run around these cars, well, I could park them right there, back down this spur, run forward, come around, or a better way would be to, let's back this up again. Back over here. Swap our turnout. My finger's in the way. Uncouple here. Oh, stay there. Back up. Switch him out because I've only got couplers on one end of him. Silly me. Oh, there comes the cars because I bumped the table. Alright. So get you guys back up there. Stay. Alright. Oh, let's try the 44 tonner. Oh, stupid pin. Yeah, don't try running your track without bullfrogs. That's all I can say. Alright, we got to set a handbrake on these guys. Just too rolly. So the head of that pin is too tall, hits on the running board and raises it up. Since we're not going down that track. There we go. Yeah, without the pin it goes right through. Alright, so we're going to run around our cars. Around that end. Hold him to get him onto the... Alright, so now those guys off of there. Seeing this still? Yeah. this way. Back down here and hold this one. Ah. Oh yeah, don't touch an adjacent rail because that'll short everything out. So yay, we've successfully run around our little train. Now down this way. There, this is just short enough that I can just about do it. This little train. So one other thing that I did want to show you was that this layout is fairly lightweight. Not bad at all. So I mean, it's one-handable.